Hey everybody, how's it going? We're back for another True North Disc Golf production. And today we're going to look at some bonus footage we got to shoot. This was for our charity fundraiser out at Bronte Creek. And I wanted to say thank you again to Darren and Dustin. They've never done commentary before, came on the show, did a fantastic job. Thanks guys for coming on. I hope you come back, do some more stuff with us, and it looks like we're going to do some more projects at Bronte, so hopefully we'll get them on the show again. This was sort of at the end of the charity round. I wanted to help them get a little bit of extra money because they were getting close on that lawnmower, so we decided to put up some cash and do a little bit of an extra round. So we asked a few of the local pros that had come down to play for us, and they sort of all decided amongst themselves that they were going to donate whatever the winnings were to that project. So thank you so much to Colleen and Chris and James and Kim for stepping up to the plate, providing a little bit of extra entertainment for you guys and helping raise a few extra bucks for that great cause. And for those of you that don't know, Bronte Creek is a project that's looked after by so many individuals. They have to cut all the grass themselves, they have to groom the course, they have to clean up all the garbage, they have to look after the project all on their own, and they do a great job doing that. So for those of you that play there, showing that little bit of extra respect and support that you always do to keep the grounds clean really goes a long way into helping all those folks out. So thanks so much for that, guys. Hole 1 is, I'm kind of going back by memory because I've played this course maybe 3 times on my own, and I found it to be very, very challenging, especially with the amount of tight shots there are over the place. This particular hole, coming at it from an amateur's perspective, I was just trying to park it as far up the fairway as I could, stay easy, go for a layup, and make a 3. These guys are certainly much stronger and are going to try to park this shot right by the basket. First up is Chris Brown, big hyzer. Actually, he went right over my head. If I recall, he hit like a tree and kind of landed in the kind of behind those trees a little bit and was looking for a long putt. James, if you know him, he is got one heck of a forehand on him. He can blast that disc, and it looks like he got a little bit of a kind of a crummy angle there, but we'll see what he does with that. Colleen, I think this is her home course. She's got a ton of experience here. I don't expect her to have much difficulty with this hole. I picked up one of those Starbucks Frappuccinos from the grocery store today. They're delicious. And finally, Kim Scott. Kim, after a long hiatus, he was, I don't think he played for about 10 years. Oh, wow! Well, there you have it. That's Kim doing Kim things for sure. Almost an ace run. Let's check out that replay. Just a tad too high. Just binks the top of the band. Well, there you go, guys. That's Kim right out of the gate showing you what he can do. Wow. All right, next up is James. It's not really much of an opportunity to run that, so I think just a good layup is fine. He's probably a little bit farther away than he wanted to be. I don't think this is much of a difference for Colleen. Decent bid there, a few feet away. Yeah, the camera angle wasn't so hot, but that gives you a better idea of where Chris Brown was, kind of buried back there. Wow, and Kim gets punished. Goes from basically almost an ace to unfortunately having to finish off and close out his par. So guys, it's just me today. Once again, we had Dustin and his partner there helping us out with commentary, and we just didn't get an opportunity to finish the second round during the time, so I wanted to take care of that and get that released for the week. First of all, I wanted to talk a little bit about True North this year and what we're trying to do. I don't know if anybody's noticed. I know we've had some people following us for the last couple of years, but our release schedule has gotten a lot better. We're trying to release 4 videos a week, 2 rounds, Monday to Tuesday and Thursday, Friday, and put out some sort of cool video on the Wednesday with varying topics. So that's what we're trying to do here. We've got a star par to start off hole 1. Almost an ace. Man, I wish he had made that. That would have been a cool thing to start that off. Hole 2, 371 feet. This shot's ridiculous. I don't know what type of shot this is in terms of making it. I think I tried this repeatedly and maybe got through once or twice. Certainly to get through that gap and be able to park near this basket all the way to the back here is very, very hard. Kudos to you if you can do that. My strategy as an amateur is just to try to get through that gap and land on the other side. Chris, on the other hand, makes short work of it. That's a great shot. It's probably, I don't know, 60 feet or so from the basket. We'll see. James with a forehand. Clips a tree at the end. Would have been parked for the yellow basket. It's still okay. Next up, Colleen Mcinnes. Yeah, and see, this is what's happened with me. If you don't get that shot exactly right, this is what happens. You end up clipping a tree. She got pretty lucky here, landing in the center of this kind of gully fairway. Let's see if Kim can do a better shot. Yeah, same problem you had in the All-Stars, just trying to plow it through and park it, and if you don't get that perfect shot, this is where you end up. First up is Kim with a scramble. Still buried back there. It's kind of an ugly spot to be. Colleen with a pretty good shot, still buried behind the trees back there, and that's what happens on this course. And I think that's why the difficulty ramped up so far and so hard for me when I was playing it. Kim with a thumber. Looks like maybe a circ 1 putt there. If you get off the fairway or you don't follow the lines exactly, you end up getting trapped all over the place. And this is definitely a course, if you want to learn how to scramble, play here. Yeah, that'll work. Next up is Chris. A little wide. There's my beautiful wife in the background with her camera. I remember back when we shot this, she was really a trooper. She was a few months pregnant at that point, and I think this was the last event that she was comfortable doing. Kim with a shot a little too high. Definitely not indicative of his skill. Bumps the band. Close that out and take a bogey. Colleen with a solid par. And I think that's something you can do on this course too, is if you play each hole in a way where you're methodical and just trying to bite off more than you can chew, this is the kind of course that will really punish you. And that's how I scored a better round the next couple of times I played it. I stopped trying to throw full power, and I focused purely on accuracy, working my way up the fairways and trying to take birdies when I knew they were possible in my skill range. James with a great birdie. That's how you do it. All right, that finishes up hole 2. Scores are pretty close. James takes an early lead with a stroke. Kim falls back a couple there behind James. Colleen and Chris, both with pars. And as I was talking about before too, our goal this year is to get nice steady content released Monday to Friday with the weekends off. And at the moment, we've got all kinds of footage we filmed last year and through the winter. We've stored that up, and we should be able to release footage nonstop until probably June or July of this year. Moving on to hole 3, 322 feet. This one's a par 3. This hole is actually pretty simple if you play it simple. If you try to throw a really hard long bomb and hit the trees on the right, or get any of the trees on the left, or just get buried at all, it makes this hole much, much, much more difficult. James with the backhand. See, this is what happens. This is one of those holes that if you just blast it up, get halfway up the fairway, make some progress, it's a very easy par, but it's a super tough birdie. Chris takes a very similar line to James. Again, same problem, clips the tree. I think these discs are just a little too flippy. A little too much turn on them. Let's see how Colleen fares. She looks like she's taking the same route. Clips a tree, same problem. Kim tries to compensate. So much power. Still clips a tree, makes it anyway. That's a good reward. The other thing to note too is this basket, all this hill behind it rolls down. Another unfortunate shot from Colleen. I will say this. I know that the players were pretty tired at this point, and the day was pretty chilly. There we go. James with a thumber. Working his way out. Kim does a little dodge, little dance. Alright, Chris buried in the trees here in this bush. Manages to find a line. Another tree clip. And this is exactly what happens, guys. Like, honestly, if you're at the pad, I think your best route, if you really can make the birdie, that's fine. You can gamble it. But for most players like myself, I'm just trying to pitch out, get as far up the fairway as I can accurately, and then take my second shot and try to stay on the top of the hill. See, these little 30, 25-foot putts, they're actually harder than they look when you're throwing uphill. Chris runs it. Little dance from Lisa. Man, these Starbucks Frappuccinos are delicious. We need to get a sponsorship from them. A second dance. I think she's just like, we're going to move from this spot. That's that. James with some chains. No luck there. Another way past shot from Chris. Either way, guys, I'm going to cheer him on. I know this hole is kind of brutal. These guys are not having a good time at all. But again, this was a good charity fundraiser, so we thank them for coming out and providing us with some entertainment, some action. Oh my goodness, none of these shots are going anybody's way. Let's see if Kim can clean this up. And there you go. Top of the basket. Anyway, this is just a disaster, so we'll let these guys clean up these holes. So with this year, our plan is to get all this content released, keep us going. I'm actually very proud to say thank you to Adam. He's been working his tail off all winter long to get us into a spot where we can have all this content ready to go. And also to Tyler. He's another guy behind the scenes that many of you have met now if you've attended any one of our little tournaments that we've operated in the last few weeks. And those two guys are working tirelessly around the clock. They've been staying late at night. They've been working on weekends. They've been developing new ways of editing to try to speed up our release speed and maintain the quantity and the quality that we need to keep the release schedule going. And I think they've really nailed it. So if you guys appreciate all the footage and all the work we're doing here in the Canadian market, you see those guys, give them a big shout out, shake their hand, say thank you. They really, really work their tails off to do that. Moving to hole 4, this is a par 3, 311 feet. I like this hole a lot. It's fun to play. There's a whole pile of different lines that you can make, and there's enough trees in the fairway to make it frustrating if you don't get a nice solid shot. I expect Kim to just crush this. It's right up his alley. But no, that tree decides no. Next up is James. This is better. Same thing, a little bit of a tree shot. My strategy in these holes has been to throw a forehand, try to make it up about halfway, and then maybe 3/4, and then either go for a putt, maybe a long putt, or just a layup. Here's Colleen's experience showing. Let's see if she can get through. Not too bad. Buried a little bit in that rough out there. And at this point, guys, they weren't playing any type of OBs or anything. This is just a fun charity match, just to kind of show off the course a little bit. Man, these trees are brutal today. It doesn't matter where these guys are throwing, they're hitting them. Let's see what Kim does here. Great little skip shot. And once again, Lisa is a target. It's 3 in a row. Colleen with a long putt, going for it. Still hits a tree. I know I was talking to Colleen off camera a little bit, and she was a bit frustrated because I know how hard she works in her game, and I know this is her home course, and she felt that she could have performed a lot better. And that's probably true of everybody on this day, but You know, don't worry about it, guys. There's plenty of great golf to come this season, and we all know you're fantastic players, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think anybody in the audience can relate to having a tough round or a bad day. It happens, and it's always good when it's just a practice round. Kim with an effortless putt. One thing to point out, guys, is you're going to see probably a lot more of Kim this year. His game has come a long, long way since he returned to the action last season. Part that's so cool about Kim is his putting. I mean, the guy can make 30, 40-foot putts look like nothing. I'm actually jealous of sometimes the guy can barely practice, come out, throw for 10 minutes, and that's it. He's crushing. All right, that hole gets cleaned up, all done. Everybody's sitting in the positive right now. These last couple of holes have just kind of beat up on everybody. I guess we got a tie for the lead between Kim and James. James is another up-and-coming player here, working on breaking the 1,000 rated barrier. Hole 5, par 3, just 292 feet. One thing I learned about this hole is how much it's changed over time, and now there's this kind of big route up the right. You can kind of bomb it over, big hyzer, and crash down into the basket, or you can take the traditional right route just down the fairway here. And all this kind of vines and tight bushes all around the basket in the back are very, very punishing if you overshot or overshoot, excuse me. Kim with a big hyzer. Okay, that works. That's about as good as it gets. Let's see what James does. Same line, big hyzer. Overshoots a little bit. Decent kick from the tree. Still a downhill putt, fairly far. Can't tell quite the difference, maybe 30, 40 feet. See what the angle looks like. Chris taking a little more of a direct route. Overshoots a bit. Nice kick. Actually, that's a great shot. Excuse me. Oh, that's a fantastic shot. You're looking at maybe 20, 25 feet at tops there. Colleen electing for the same route as the other three. Almost hits the yellow basket. A good spot there for a layup. Finish that up for a 3. Takes a knee for a forehand. Let's see if that little kick was helpful or not. Yeah, that's fine. She would have liked it a little closer, but we'll work with that. James a bit low. There you go. It's a good par. Yeah, this course can be quite a bit more intimidating too during the summer when all the foliage is all greened up and grown in. And but man, is this place fun to play. It's beautiful. Kim just turns a drive into a birdie like nothing. It's always fun when you get to stand on the sidelines and watch everybody else play. Chris takes his par. James with a par. And that's all she wrote. Hole 5 finished up, 3 pars and a birdie. That's what happens on this course. A lot of holes are like that. Relatively easy pars, medium skill pars. I'm not really sure exactly what to call it, but basically if you play the fairway cleanly, you can make pars, but birdies that really test the limits of your skill. Hole 6, par 4. This one's just shy of 500 feet. I know in tournament play, this kind of gully that we're about to fly over, this is all OB, so you're trying to make this big drive and land on this green here. And then the real sick pros that can throw hard and far, they can kind of get past this, try to crash somewhere behind this in the green. I've even seen people use the trees here and try to hit them. I personally don't have the range to hit that, but I think Kim does, so let's see what he does. Big drive. Too much hyzer. In tournament, this would be OB, but on a charity match, this is fine. You can just pitch up from there. James, same thing, definitely has the range. That's a great shot. Almost hits the camera guy. That would be me. That's perfect. That should give him a good shot at a putt for 2. Chris throwing a little Annie on it. I like this line a lot. Might be the best of the bunch. Oh, that's a crush. Just goes to show how much Chris Brown has put into his game. Just taking a 400 and probably 450 foot drive. About as accurate as you can get on that. Colleen coming out. Just barely misses the fairway. Once again, not OB, just fine. Let's see if we can pitch up. Still strike a birdie here. Well, that's a favorable roll. Behind the trees a little bit. We'll see if she has a line. My guess is she's okay. I think she's got one there. Kim from across the road runs it, hits the pole. Good man, easy tap in for a birdie. James trying to take advantage of this. Great shot, once again, easy bird for him. Chris, put it in. Oh my goodness, good try. He deserves better on that one. I would have liked to see it too. Oh yeah, Colleen's got a line here, no problem. A little bit low. Oh, it's all good. I know she's frustrated, but it's all good. We're playing here for charity. Everybody's a winner in the end. Oh, and guys, just see the ODSA there on the screen. Definitely support the ODSA this year. They've done a ton for the sport. Chris Oz has been tremendous in helping us with the projects that we've been doing this year, and also to John McLeod. He's been a big help too in setting up this charity fundraiser, and he took us out to the course, gave us his afternoon, talked a little bit about the history of the venue and what had happened, gave us a tour, helped us drone flight and everything to make sure things were done correctly, and got us permission to put the drone in the air here a little bit so we could get some of these beautiful aerial shots. So thank you, John, for all your help. And it's kind of funny, I knew John from back in the day. I used to play a little bit of cards, and he worked at one of the venues that I used to play at. He was always a great guy back then, and I was a bit of a tough gambler, I think, to deal with, and he always treated me very fairly, so it was nice to see him doing something great in the disc golf community. Hole 7, par 3, 262 feet. This hole is man, you either throw hard and high, try to hyzer, like blast it, try to land it in there and use this little bit of a backstop in the back here, or try to flick it low maybe. I haven't had too much success in any of the lines except throwing high. Now, I can't quite throw as hard as Kim can like this, but I was kind of coming out a little bit wider and trying to throw a Firebird and crash it in. I recall too, as the camera guy back there, I couldn't actually see these discs. I was in a bad spot. I think Adam here was doing his best to capture the angles as good as he could. This is more the line that I was taking, maybe a hair higher, obviously, but I was trying to get through there and make it over. Let's see what Colleen does. This is not too bad. Same problem. Trees. And this is with the actual trees being bare of leaves. Think about how this course is like when it's actually covered. Fully bloomed. Chris working his way up, still a little buried. Looks like he's going to have a very tough 60-footer, maybe a hair more there. James with a jump putt, trying to use the backstop there. Lands in just the right way. Same thing from Colleen. Good touch, good speed control. Like that. Chris trying to get a little creative here to work his way out. That'll work perfectly. Binks the bottom of the pole. Nice accuracy there. I don't know. Kim's like the woodman back there somewhere. Throws a little roller. Uses the backstop the way he should. Comes to rest. Turbos it. And that is that. Everybody seems to be in good spirits, having a good time. Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to play on this course, guys, really you should. Come on out, give it a try. There's multiple configurations. You've got shorts and longs pads. You've also got, let me think now, I believe you have 3 different pin positions, and they have 2 working at any given time. And I think at this current time they had the reds and yellow baskets in the longs and mediums. Not really sure what they're called. I'm not super experienced with this course, but I think it was the longest distance and the medium distance. Moving into hole 8, this one's a par 3, just 377 feet. This particular hole is right out of a storybook in the summer. I remember this. It's got this cool little bridge, all these beautiful, beautiful trees along all the outside. The fairway just is awesome. Let's see what Kim does here. Looks like it's going to flip up to flat, clips a little tree. I remember there was a little bit of water here, this cool bridge. Lisa in the back there, ready to catch if somebody makes an ace. James looks like he's going for a run for the yellow basket. Have to recalibrate that shot for next time. Let's see if Colleen can make the adjustment. Looks like that's not too bad. Still a little hard on the right. Oh! Okay, I remember this, guys. This is the first time I've ever taken a hit from a disc. And I jumped, but it hit the bottom of my monopod. So that's it. I've finally been hit by a disc. It took a long time, but there you have it. Sorry about impacting the action there, guys. That would have been probably a much better shot than what it was. So sorry about that. Yeah, that doesn't work. That tree's like a magnet today. Chris overshoots a little bit. Still think he's in a good spot for a putt, though. He should be fine. These beautiful little bands they had custom made too. That's cool. The baskets here are fantastic, guys. Good shot from Kim. Well within his range to clean that putt up. James trying to squeak in here. That's way too much power. Just overshoots that by a mile. Colleen, once again, I apologize. I'm so sorry that my monopod got in the way and hit that disc. I think you would have been much better if I hadn't done that. So I think we should all give her at least a stroke back on that one. Good run from James. Banks the basket. Good try there. I think he put himself in a much tougher spot than he needed to be by just overshooting. Kim, once again, just a force to be reckoned with, especially within Circle 1 or even in Circle 2. He's just deadly. Just nonchalantly grabs his disc and carries forward. Excellent job from Chris there. Cleans it up. Bogeys galore. Speed control and accuracy. I mean, one of the things you're going to notice from players that, especially long-standing members on this course, the pros that come out of this course really improve their accuracy a lot. Because I think this course is designed to do that, teach you how to throw right where you need to put it, and punish you severely if you miss. All right, Kim battling away, sitting there at 1 down. The other 3 still sitting in the positive. I know they could be doing much better. I've seen them shoot significantly better rounds over the few times I've been there to play with them, but that's okay. Keep up the action here on hole 9. 351 feet. This is a great hyzer shot that's completely blind. You're throwing, kind of wide here, and then you're trying to crash past this, what is this, like a little gully? And this basket is hidden behind these trees. And basically everything but a perfect shot gets you in trouble. This is the shot you want to try to make. If you've got the power, I know most of us don't, but if you do, that's the kind of shot you want to try to get to. We'll see where he landed. This looks excellent. This is a great shot from Colleen. And that's exactly what you want to try to achieve. And interestingly, if you get another, 10% in power there, that's parked. This might be that shot. We'll see. Same kind of action, just a hair too low. A little bit more power would have been perfect. Chris with a smash. This might be perfect. In the trees a little bit. I'm not too worried about that though. Chris is very good at scrambling out of trees. Colleen with a little run here. That's okay. Smart shot, easy tap in for a 3. James in a very similar spot. I expect a very similar shot out of him. A little bit of a run here. A little deep, definitely went for it. This putt shouldn't be too hard for him to finish up. All right, Bigfoot smashes the shot. Wow. Where is he? It's coming out of the bushes. Shots like that are so underrated. That is way harder than it looks, folks. Try that. Oh, it looks like Kim might get a little bit of a shot at that too. James for his 3. Chain bounce. Chain gods are not going to give him that today. That's too bad. Clean little par. There we have it. All right. Finishing up that hole. We're still looking at Kim in the lead at 1 down. Got a short little race here between the other 3 shooting for second place at 4, 3, and 2 over par respectively. All right, guys, we do have a little bit of a leaderboard here, but once again, this was a charity event, and the whole idea behind this was to raise some cash. So once again, thank you to our 4 participants here for staying after the charity fundraiser here to play a little bit of an exhibition match, show off Bronte Creek, and help us raise a few extra bucks for the club. That's awesome. And guys, really, again, our plan this year is really to work hard, to get lots of footage out, to keep that steady release schedule moving. And ultimately, we want to bring you the most consistent and best golf that we can from Canada. Our retail store is expanded a lot. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in the next video if that's of interest to you. We've got some pretty big upgrades going on in the store right now, so I'm going to talk about that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the tournament scene as well and what our plans are for there. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this little bit of bonus footage. I hope you enjoyed watching the first half here of some action here at Bronte, and I'll be back very soon to show you the back 9. All right, thanks, guys. We'll talk to you very soon.